You have no idea how tired am I. Super exhausted, but I am also super excited because for the last 3 days I have been here in Shenzhen, China, attending the Shenzhen International Audio Show or SIAS 2024. Huge thank you to Shenzhen Audio for the massive hospitality that they have shown me and my fellow reviewers, which are in attendance as well. Stay with me because I'm going to be showing you some of the most exciting product for the remaining of 2024 and upcoming 2025, especially from Moondrop, from Dunu, from Shanling Audio, and so many more. First stop of the day, and I think probably one of the biggest attraction for this Shenzhen International Audio Show is what Moondrop has to offer. And today they have released 2 IEMs, Cadence, priced at $150 US. That is one really interesting and amazing IEM. Even my first impression was, I was wow. If you're familiar with something like Kato or even Aria, then you can expect similar kind of tuning, with an exception that it is definitely more refined. Concerto, priced higher at around $250 US. Where it differs from the Cadence is that it is more transparent and neutral, like a reference kind of sound. Moondrop sort of tuning, and you want something which is geared towards being more transparent, more reference sort of sound presentation, Concerto would be more suited for you. Next month in October, Dunu will be releasing this Arashi, available at around US dollar 1,600. The only magnetic planar from Dunu. I am impressed with what I'm hearing so far. This thing is oozing with resolution. The kind of details and everything that you can expect on a very well-tuned magnetic planar. Priced at 500 US dollar to be released very soon. DK3001 Brand Dance. As the name implies, this thing is super special, clad in all white with that cyberpunk kind of feel to it. First impression, this thing is very dynamic sounding, highly resolving, energetic and vibrant, and perhaps super suitable for the type of music which contains a lot of electronic element, dance music, ambience music, and definitely for gaming because it is very holographic. The flagship and the only magnetic planar, which is the HW600. One simple word, impressive, super impressive. It's more like a very well-tuned dynamic driver, but with magnetic planar speed and resolution. It has that proper balance of being detailed, analytical, macro, micro detail. There's no hint at all of any of that metallic sound of magnetic planar.
So for us, as a first entry into the headphone market, we wanted to follow what our users know Shanling for. So we have all metal construction, it's reliable, it's durable, it is comfortable. We made sure that we spent months on adjusting the pads.
Months.
For the perfect angles and the comfort, and mainly for the sound. People know Shanling products for their natural and a little bit warmish sound, and it is something we follow up even with our headphones. So you will not get the bright treble, not annoying, but it will be extending, it will be fast as other planners, but it will sound natural, it will sound pleasing, and it will be good for the long-term listening.
a hybrid digital audio player with 2 tubes and dual AK4499. This thing is super sweet sounding. We are talking about the kind of sound which is reminiscent like vinyl kind of experience, very immersive, that pulls you into the music itself. Just like N3 Ultra, which I tested recently, you can choose between the solid state and the tube. Unlike N3 Ultra, this one runs on Android version 11.
Yellow 3, climb and maintain 4,000. When approach to pad 6, caution.
R4 Evangelion. It's a bit more expensive now. So what's the difference? You might be wondering. The memory, the ROM and the RAM, and also I think most importantly, the biggest update is that they also upgraded the amplifier circuit. It's more powerful now with more dynamic authority. Should you go for this? Absolutely. R1. To be released R1? Yeah, R1. Price at around $60 US. Come on here, man. Let's join me.
Hi.
You know this guy?
I'm Obi from Obi Audio.
Yeah.
Hi.
So we are excited for this because it presents a very good option for anything under $100 US, and it is equipped with CS43131, 3.5mm single-ended only, and you can still do streaming despite being a legacy non-Android kind of solution. But I think it should be quite attractive because considering the price, you get a very good DAC chip inside, and I think the color is nice. There will be 5 colors.
Oh, and for context, this is the size of the R3, and that's the size of the R1. So, it's the size difference alone. So
Look for it next month.
yes.
For the longest period of time, I have been harping about Tanchjim Zero like a douchebag for the last 2 years. You might get tired of it, and for good reason actually. Tanchjim Zero was, in fact, illegally good for the price of $9 US. Tanchjim Zero Ultimate, available in this permanent DSP module. It does sound like Tanchjim Zero, a bit more bassy now, a bit more focused on the sub bass, where else the original Tanchjim Zero was mid-bass heavy. The transient handling, the speed, the resolution and everything is pretty much reminiscent of the original Tanchjim Zero, Tanchjim Bunny. This thing surprised me. For those people who love Tanchjim Zero, this is what you should get. Tanchjim Bunny, amazingly reminiscent of the original Tanchjim Zero with some improvement in resolution and the way it handles the dynamic transient. It is wide and open sounding. Despite the cheeky name, the cheesy name, which is Bunny, this thing is amazingly suitable for metal music. So metalhead, if you're looking for something that suits for metal, go for this Bunny. Sendy Audio Peacock, a flagship magnetic planar headphone. Among the many which I have tried that day, magnetic planar headphones, this is without a doubt one of the very best which I have listened to so far. It is the kind of sound which I would consider as capable of poking up into the Hi-Fi Man Susvara territory. Super impressive. And this is the second headphone which impressed me a lot from the Sendy Audio and Sivga booth that particular day. Sivga Luan dynamic driver. It reminds me a lot to the sound of Sivga Nightingale, which I really love. And I also did try quite a few number of headphones from Sivga that particular day. They do have one magnetic planar and another 2 dynamic driver, and I'm just gonna simply say all of them are very well tuned, very well built and super comfortable, especially the Luan. And I would highly recommend, if you're looking for very well tuned magnetic planar or dynamic driver headphone, you should seriously consider Sivga and Sendy Audio. Finally, I have the opportunity to try this Sivga Shui. Very quick impression, okay? This is super musical. If you love the blue sound curve, warm sound, musical, strong mid-range, female vocal, you are sensitive to brightness, then perhaps you would want to consider this. EPZ 35. That's 56 US dollar, which is half the price of this. And you're gonna get similar kind of sound quality, which you can expect from TP50. So it is pretty much natural, organic, and the kind of sound which I really love. Q5 Pro. Now this is very impressive as well for the price of 55 US dollar. Just be on the lookout for this one. I think many people will love this. NF Audio is now known as NF Acoust, and this is essentially the first product under the new name, which is NF Acoust. I am designated for musicians or for monitoring purposes. For example, I am so very familiar with this Atimotic ER4S. It has that similar kind. By the way, this is a single DD, priced at 119 US dollar, and for that price you're gonna get something which I would say, at least from my initial impression, pretty much the kind of resolution, imaging and details, layering, aspiration, which equates to Atimotic ER4S, and that is crazily impressive considering that Atimotic ER4S is a reference. It is kind of a bit bright. If you are sensitive to treble, perhaps you're gonna find this NM20 kind of a bit on the brighter side. Pina is kind of a bit strong, but then again, that's the nature of monitoring in-ear monitors, especially listening to classical music, one, and surprisingly, amazingly well also with metal music. Another product which I was really looking forward to try, Aune AR7000, the latest headphone from Aune, hot on the trail of their highly successful AR5000, which I really like. And true indeed, initial impression only, I was already impressed because I was hoping for an improvement over what was already an impressive AR5000. What I'm hearing is something which I would consider as richer sounding overall and still being neutral enough, but I would prefer to do more testing with full review, hopefully later, very soon. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. I hope you have been enjoying it, and please stay tuned to my channel, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews from Andy Audio Vault.